Hey everybody, Tim Tialdo here, and thank you so much for tuning in. And as you have seen on the title of this episode, it is going to be the final episode. Now, I know when I went on hiatus earlier in the summer, I said, you know what, I'm going to be back. I'm going to have more interviews. I'm going to keep doing this. And I want to let you in on my whole thought process behind this and what really took place at that time and really what's happened over the summer to give you some insight as to why I'm going to end the podcast. I'll be completely honest, after those 102 episodes, I was really kind of feeling like the end was approaching. I was just kind of running out of gas, and I kind of felt like that chapter in my life was starting to come to an end, but I wasn't really sure. And I just kept thinking about it. And so to be 100% honest with you, what happened the week that I launched that hiatus episode is I had already recorded a final episode, and I had it ready to go and scheduled. And the day before, I just had a long talk with my wife, and we were talking about it, and I said, you know what, I think I just need to take the summer to think about it because we had our child coming who is now here with us. She's 12 weeks old, and I just wanted to take some time to really, number one, get in prayer, but also just take some time to really think and let my mind breathe and figure out if this is something I wanted and had the time and the effort to be able to continue to do. And the truth is, as the summer went on and this whole COVID thing happened, and then, you've seen so much change. Some good things happened in my life. Number one was the birth of my second child. Number two was one of the businesses that I own has exploded in growth. I think somewhat due to COVID, but I think for other reasons as well. And those two things alone have taken up more time than they ever did in the past. And I used to have the 5 hours a week to be able to do the podcast, book the interviews, make the edits, get it all scheduled. And that time, quite frankly, has evaporated. And I just don't have the time to put in the effort that I would really want to continue this podcast because, to be 100% honest with you, if I can't do this to the very best of my ability, I don't want to do it at all. And I think the thing that I'm proud of is that we have put out 102 episodes, and it's kind of like a mini college education out there. And the crazy thing, I just looked it up this morning here on my podcast platform. There have been 7,000 downloads since that hiatus episode. I haven't run anything since then. And so that means a lot of you are tuning into these interviews and you're still getting something out of them. And the good news is I'm not going to get rid of any of that. I'm going to leave the podcast platform up. The YouTube channel is still there. I'll still have it on all the podcast apps that you can go back and listen to any one of the episodes as many times as you want, whenever you want. Because I think what we've done over those 2 years was incredibly valuable. But I feel like there's a shift happening in my life, and I've spent a lot of time in prayer over the summer really thinking about this as whether or not I wanted to continue this. And as much as I hate to say it, the answer I kept getting was no. And I don't know how else to say it. I just, I trust, when I get in prayer and I really listen for the answers, and I listened multiple times because I kept thinking, no, maybe I should keep going. And then I would get this confirmation of, no, I think it's time to end it. And so as this may disappoint many of you, and I am so sorry for that, I am so thankful to all of you for how loyal you have been as an audience, how many of you have tuned in, how many of you love the pageant world and continue to support it. I have no idea where the future of pageantry is going right now. I'm still involved in it and will be. But as for the podcast, I'm going to call today the end of it. And just so thankful to all of you. It's been a fun ride. I've met so many cool people and had so many great interviews, and I think we've helped out a lot of people. I've had a lot of feedback, over the past couple of years on how we've helped certain people just from, it could even be one line from a podcast that really changed somebody. And I think that's the purpose that it served. I think God puts ideas and things into our lives and motivates us to do things for certain reasons, and sometimes that's for a lifetime, and sometimes it's just for a short season. And I will say that this short season is coming to an end. It was just a little over 2 years. And I've got so much more going on in my life, which is great. But to clarify how I make my decisions, so I prioritize them by the way I prioritize the things in my life. Number one, God is always first. Number two is my family and my friends. Number three is my physical and mental health. Number four is my professional life. And then number five is hobbies, things like this that I did because I had the time and effort to be able to do them and the talent. And unfortunately, those first four things, with everything going on, the time commitment to those things that matter the most to me are pushing this one to the side. So I would always love to hear from any of you. I will certainly miss doing this. I really do enjoy it, even though I don't have the time to do it anymore. I will be here to serve the pageant industry in any way I can. I mean, if there are occurrences that happen in the future, maybe big events that maybe, cause some sort of national stir or news, I may jump back in here and there just to do one. And I will continue to keep the podcast platform open so I can do that. Quite honestly, the number one podcast by far of the past 2 years was the Miss America 2020 recap that I did with Savvy and Betty. That has nearly 9,000 downloads. So obviously when big things happen and I get, some of the names involved that are close to those events, they're a big deal. And I want to continue to provide that if I can, if those types of events pop up. And if I see them do, I will certainly, reach out to those people and ask them if they'd be willing to do a one-time deal. And who knows, that may happen. But again, I just want to say thank you. I can't say that enough because it has been a fun ride, and the pageant industry has done a lot for me. Again, it's not the end of my time in the pageant industry, but it's the end of the podcast. And I'm always available to reach out to. I think many of you may have noticed I'm kind of off of social media. I really haven't done anything on social media all summer, and it's been quite honestly a great decision for me. I've enjoyed the fact that I'm not on there. It doesn't take up a lot of my day, and it's allowed me to be a lot more productive and spend a lot more time with my children, which I got to be honest, I love being a dad to my 2 little girls. It's just been the greatest joy of my life, and I know we're just getting started. And that extra time that I have every week to spend with them has meant the world to me. And, raising a child in this world right now, it's a little scary, to be honest, but the more time I spend with them and the lessons that I teach them and how to be a good dad and a good family, I think that's really important to me. So that's what I'm going to do. So if any of you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me through social media. I do go on there every now and then just to check if I have any messages. But probably the best way to do so, if you just want to reach out to me, is my personal email address. It's tim@timtialdo.com. That's TIMTIALDO. Tim@timtialdo.com, and I would love to hear from you. But thank you for the 2 years. Thank you to the 102 guests who came on the show and committed their time and resources and, quite frankly, their stories to letting all of you learn from them. And I hope it's done a lot for the pageant industry. I hope it's made it better, and I certainly hope that I get to see and meet many of you at future pageants. But for now, I'm signing off. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you.